"You're not part of Christmas," my mom said lightly. "Then don't count on my $8,000, I shot back while pausing their mortgage. The mid-November wind rattling the single-pane windows of my tiny studio apartment. When my phone buzzes on the cluttered end table, I glance at the screen. Mom. My thumb hovers over decline, but habit kicks in and I answer. "Hey, Elliot," she says, her voice light, almost cheerful, like she's about to share a recipe. "We're keeping Christmas small this year. You're not coming. It'll keep things calm for Derek." The words hit me like a sucker punch, stealing the air from my lungs. I sit up, the futon creaking under me, and stare at the chipped coffee mug on my table, steam curling from the instant coffee. I just poured what I manage, my voice hoarse barely above a whisper. "Oh, she continues, breezy as ever. "Derek's been so stressed lately. He needs a quiet holiday and, well, it's just better this way." "Better?" My chest tightens, a hot ember of rage sparking deep inside. Derek, my older brother, the golden son who can do no wrong in their eyes. The one they've coddled through every screw-up while I've been the steady one, the fixer. I grip the mug, the heat biting into my palm, and mutter, "You're serious? You're cutting me out of Christmas?" She laughs, a soft, dismissive sound that grates against my nerves. "Don't be dramatic, Elliot. It's just one day. Derek's been through a lot. You know how he gets." The ember flares. I set the mug down hard, coffee sloshing onto the scratched wood, and lean forward, elbows on my knees. "Through a lot," I echo, my voice sharpening. "What about me?" She sighs, that familiar exasperated sound she uses to dodge anything real. "Let's not make this a thing, okay? We'll see you after." The line clicks dead, leaving me staring at the phone, the wind howling outside, and that rage burning brighter than the dim bulb flickering overhead. The phone still in my hand, screen dark, but Mom's words loop in my head like a broken record. I toss it onto the futon and stand pacing the cramped space between my kitchenette and the window. The wind's picking up outside, rattling the glass, but it's nothing compared to the storm brewing in me. I stop at the sink, gripping the edge, and stare at the chipped Formica. "Better this way," she'd said. "For Derek, always Derek." My knuckles whiten and I mutter, "Unbelievable." To the empty room, the space heater hums in the corner, a faint warmth that does nothing for the cold knot in my gut. I grab my laptop from the cluttered shelf, nearly knocking over a stack of unopened bills, and slump back onto the futon. The screen glows as I pull up the mortgage account, their mortgage account. My name's tied to it, my login, my payments. I scroll through the history. $666 wired every month. $8,000 this year alone. 2 years of it ever since Derek's craft beer empire crashed and burned, taking their savings with it. $25 gone in a haze of hops and bad decisions. And I'd stepped in because they couldn't lose the house. My call center job, endless hours of headset static and angry customers, pays for this. While my own car's got a busted heater I can't afford to fix. I dial Mom back, my pulse thudding in my ears. She picks up on the third ring. "Elliot," I said, "we talk later." She starts, but I cut her off. $8,000, Mom. This year, 2 years straight for your mortgage. And you're kicking me out of Christmas for Derek. My voice shakes raw and jagged. There's a pause, then that sigh again. Long and practiced. "You wanted to help Elliot. Don't make it a thing." I laugh, sharp and bitter, the sound bouncing off the peeling walls. "Wanted to? I've been bailing you out since Derek tanked your life. I skip oil changes so you have a roof." She doesn't flinch. "Derek's fragile right now. That bar failing hit him hard. He needs us, me and your dad, to keep him steady. You're tougher, Elliot. You always have been." The words land like a brick, heavy and cold. Tougher. That's what they call it when I work doubles to cover their mess while Derek sulks over his latest flop. Fragile. I snap, standing again, boots thudding on the thin carpet. "I'm breaking my back here. I've paid for your heat, your lights, everything." While he sits there whining, "Elliot," she says, firmer now, "this isn't about money. It's about family. Derek's in a bad place. We need to focus on him." My jaw clenches so tight. I feel it in my temples. Focus on him. I repeat, slow, letting the words sink in. "So I'm not family? 2 years, 16 grand total, and I'm not worth a seat at the table." She hesitates, then says, "You're twisting this. It's one holiday. You'll be fine." The dismissal stings worse than the exclusion. Like I'm a utility bill they can skip when it's inconvenient. I pace again, the laptop screen glaring at me, the payment history a neon sign of my stupidity. "You know what, Mom? I've been fine. I've been fine working nights, eating ramen, driving a freezing car, all for you. And Derek? What's he done lately except drain you dry?" She huffs, irritation creeping in. "He's trying, Elliot. He's got plans. You wouldn't understand. Plans like the bar, like the DJ gig that lasted a week, Like every half-baked scheme he's peddled while I've kept them afloat. The line crackles with silence, and I stop by the window watching the first snowflakes dust the streetlights. "I've paid for your house," I say, voice low, sharp as a blade. $8 this year. "And you're telling me I'm out because Derek's stressed?" She doesn't answer right away, then mutters, "Let's not do this now. We appreciate it, but Christmas is about him this time." I scoff, the sound harsh in my throat. "Appreciate it? Right." I jab the end call button, the phone skidding across the cushion. The snow's falling faster now, blanketing the world outside, but inside that ember's a full-on fire. They've made their choice, Derek's comfort over my sacrifice. I glare at the laptop, the mortgage portal still open, and feel something shift. If I'm not family enough for Christmas, they can damn well figure out how to pay for their precious holiday glow without me. The snow's coming down thick now, a white shroud over the street outside my window, but I barely notice. I'm hunched over my laptop, the mortgage portal glaring back at me like an accusation. My finger hovers over the mouse. The cursor blinking on pause automatic payments. Mom's voice echoes in my skull. "It's about family. Derek needs us." And my stomach churns. Family. I've been their lifeline, not their son, and they've tossed me aside like a burned-out bulb. I click the button, a pop-up confirming the change. Effective December 1st, 3 weeks before Christmas. The screen shifts to payment paused and a cold hard satisfaction settles over me, heavier than the blanket of flakes outside. I lean back the futon, groaning under my weight, and scrub a hand over my face. The apartment's quiet except for the space heaters and the faint whistle of wind sneaking through the window frame. My mind churns up the past 2 years. Derek swaggering into Mom and Dad's kitchen bragging about his bar opening, all sleek logos and overpriced Ibas. They clapped him on the back, Mom beaming like he'd cured cancer, Dad nodding along even as I sat there silent, wiring another payment for my phone under the table. Then the crash, $25,000 of their retirement savings gone in 6 months, the bar shuttered, and Derek whining about market trends. I'd stepped up, no questions, no complaints, because the house was all they had left. My overtime checks kept the lights on the roof intact while he nursed his ego with craft beer leftovers. I stand restless and grab a can of soda from the fridge, the cold aluminum biting into my palm, popping it open. I take a swig and pace to the window. The streetlights blur through the snowfall and I picture their house, cozy, cluttered, the one I've paid to keep standing. Mom's probably knitting by the fireplace now. Dad flipping through the paper. Derek sprawled on the couch with his phone. They don't even know what's coming. I've been the invisible glue, and they've cut me out because Derek's stressed. Stressed from what? Failing again? I've been stressed, clocking out at midnight, dodging repo threats on my own car, but that doesn't count to them. The soda fizzes against my tongue, sharp and bitter, matching the taste in my mouth. I set it down and drop back onto the futon, pulling the laptop closer. I dig into the account details, every payment time stamped, my name next to each one. I've called the bank for them, haggled late fees, set up the autopay because Dad couldn't figure out the app, and Mom just said, "You're so good with this, Elliot, good with it." I've been good with bleeding my account dry while Derek's plans get the spotlight. The bar was just the latest. Before that it was the DJ stint, the vape shop idea, all flops they excused because he's their dreamer. I scroll back to last December. $666 sent the day after Christmas. My gift to them while they fawned over Derek's hangover tales from his networking party. I'd smiled, said nothing, and worked New Year's Eve to cover it. Now they're planning a calm Christmas without me. Like I'm the chaos. My jaw tightens and I mutter, calm. The snow's piling up out there. A storm brewing that'll bury the city soon. I imagine their house going dark. The heat fading. The bank notices stacking up. They've leaned on me so long. They forgot I could let go. I close the laptop with a snap. The sound sharp in the stillness. My breath fogs in the dim light. Not from cold, but from the heat of this moment. I've poured everything into them. Money, time, my own damn stability. And they've repaid me with a shrug and a locked door. Let's see how calm it is without my $8. I say, a loud voice steady cutting through the quiet. The confirmation email pings my phone, payment paused, effective December 1st, 3 weeks to Christmas, 3 weeks till they feel the weight of their choice. I lean my head back, eyes on the ceiling's water stain, and let that satisfaction sink deeper. They've picked Derek's fragile ego over me one too many times. This time, I'm picking myself. The storm outside growls louder, and I smirk, knowing theirs is just beginning. December rolls in like a freight train, snow stacking high against my apartment building. The streets outside a mess of slush and ice. I'm at work, hunched over a headset in the call center, fielding complaints about delayed packages while the clock ticks past midnight. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Mom again. I ignore it, focusing on the irate voice in my ear. But when the call ends, I check the message. Elliot, the mortgage didn't go through. Bank says it's late. Fix it. My lips twitch into a smirk. Faint but real. As I shove the phone back and grab the next call. Fix it. Like I'm their tech support. Not the guy they asked from Christmas. The next day, I'm hauling boxes in the warehouse overtime to cover my own rent now that their house isn't sucking me dry. My hands are numb. The cold seeping through my gloves when my phone pings again. It's Dad this time. A voicemail. Elliot, we've got late fees piling up. Pay it now. What's wrong with you? His tone sharp, like I've spilled coffee on his paper. Not pulled the plug on their free ride. I delete it, stacking a crate of canned goods. The metal clinking like my resolve. The payment's been off for a week and they're already scrambling. Good. By midweek, I'm thawing out in my apartment, sipping lukewarm tea, when I get a notification. Derek's posted on social media. Some people are too selfish to care about family. He writes, tagging me in big bold letters. I click through, jaw tight, and see the comments roll in. His buddies calling me a deadbeat, a leech, one even saying, hope you're proud, ruining Christmas. My stomach twists hot and sour, but I don't respond. He's turned it public, painting me as the villain while he plays the victim. I scroll his profile, pics of him at a bar last night, grinning with a pint, not a care in the world. Meanwhile, I'm here, my boots still damp from the loading dock. I toss the phone onto the futon and pace, the floor creaking under me. The space heater's humming, but I feel the chill anyway, not from the air, but from Derek's cheap shot. He's got no idea I've been their bankroll, or maybe he does and just doesn't care. Mom's text comes next. Elliot, why is the payment stopped? Call the bank. I ignore it, grabbing a stale bagel from the counter and tearing into it. Let him figure it out. The snow's relentless outside, burying cars and drifts, and I picture their mailbox filling with bank notices. Their cozy denial cracking Friday night. I'm at the corner store picking up milk and bread. When Dad calls again, I let it go to voicemail, paying the cashier as she chats about the storm. Back home I play it. Elliot, this is serious. $200 in fees already. Turn it back on. His voice cracks, anger tinged with something else. Panic, maybe. I drop the groceries on the counter and lean against it, staring at the wall. $200. Pocket change compared to the $8 I've shelled out this year, but it's enough to rattle them. I mutter, feel it yet, to the empty room, a grim edge to my voice. Saturday morning, I'm sweeping snow off my walkway, breath fogging in the frigid air, when my phone buzzes again. Mom, texting, Elliot, we're at 15 days late. What's happening? 15 days. The bank's probably sent a warning letter by now, red ink and bold threats. I keep sweeping, the scrape of the shovel loud against the quiet. Derek's post has 50 likes, his chorus of clowns piling on, but I don't care. Let him spin his tail. They don't know. I've been the one holding the house together while he's chased pipe dreams. By Sunday, the calls stack up: 3 from Dad, 2 from Mom. I'm frying an egg, the sizzle drowning out the buzz. When I check the latest, Dad's voicemail, barking, pay it, Elliot. This isn't a game. I flip the egg, yolk breaking, and smirk. Not a game. They made it one when they picked Derek sulking over my sweat. The storm's easing outside, but their mess is just starting. I sit with my plate, the warmth of the food a stark contrast to the ice I've set loose miles away. They've got no clue how deep this goes, how long I've carried them, but they're about to learn. $8, $0 doesn't vanish without a price. I choose slowly, the phone's silent for now, and wait for the next crack to show. Christmas Eve slams into the city with an ice storm, the kind that turns power lines into glass and streets into skating rinks. I'm in my apartment, flipping a burger on the stovetop, the sizzle filling the quiet while sleep pelts the windows. My phone's a war zone. 15 missed calls, half from Mom, half from Dad. A barrage of texts lighting up the screen. I glance at the latest. Mom, voice cracking in a voicemail. Elliot, the bank's threatening foreclosure. It's 30 days late. Please do something. 30 days, a month without my money, and their house is teetering. I slide the burger onto a plate, ketchup pooling red, and feel a dark steady calm. They're feeling it now. I'm mid-bite when another text lands. Mom again. Derek took our savings. $2,000 all we had left. He said it's for rent at his girlfriend's. We're broke, Elliot. I freeze burger halfway to my mouth and let out a low jagged laugh. $2. Money I'd helped scrape back after his bar fiasco. Gone in a snap because Derek's playing house. He's not just a leech, he's a thief. I set the plate down, wiping grease on my jeans, and picture him smirking, tossing cash like it's his while they beg me to fix his mess again. My calm sharpens into something colder, harder. The phone buzzes nonstop. Dad now. Elliot, where are you? Bank's calling daily. I ignore it, grabbing a beer from the fridge, the cold glass slick against my palm. I crack it open, the hiss cutting through the storm's howl, and take a long pull for closure. It's not just late fees anymore, it's real. I've seen the notices pile up in my mind's eye. Stern letters, deadlines in bold, their cozy little world unraveling. They thought I'd cave, that I'd keep bailing them out. Not this time. The beer's bitter, matching the taste of their betrayal. Around 8 p.m., the doorbell jars me from my thoughts, a harsh buzz against the storm's roar. I peer through the peephole. Dad hunched under his parka hood crusted with ice, face flushed red. I crack the door, warm air spilling out, and lean against the frame, beer in hand. Elliot, he snaps, breath fogging and bursts. The mortgage is a month late. Bank's ready to take the house, turn it back on. Now his eyes are wild fury and fear tangled up, but I don't flinch. You kicked me out of Christmas. I say, voice flat steady, said Derek, needed calm. I figured you didn't need me for anything else. He blinks, snow shaking loose from his sleeves and his mouth twists. That was one day, Derek, struggling. Your mom's a wreck over this. I step forward, cutting him off. The cold biting my face, but not my resolve. One day, I paid $8,000 this year, 16 grand over 2. While Derek's struggling cost you everything. You picked him. Now you're broke. He flails, voice rising over the wind. He took the savings, Elliot. We've got nothing. Foreclosures next week if you don't fix this. I sipped the beer, slow and deliberate, meeting his glare. Not my problem. You've got a phone. Call the bank. Sell something. Figure it out. His jaw drops, then clamps shut, teeth grinding. You're heartless. He spits, fists balling up. We're losing it all. I shrug, the motion small but final. You lost me first. Happy Christmas, Dad. I shut the door, the lock clicking sharp, and his shouts fade into the storm as his truck rumbles to life, tires crunching ice. Back inside, I drop onto the futon, burger cold on the counter, and check my phone. Mom's latest, Elliot, it's unbearable. Help us. Then Derek, a text dripping venom, you're trash, ruining us. I smirk, setting the beer down, and mute the notifications. The apartment's warm, the heater's a quiet victory, while outside the ice coats everything in a glassy tomb. They're huddled in that house, probably under blankets, cursing me as the bank's axe looms. Derek's theft, their choice. It's all crashing down, and I'm here eating alone, free of their weight. I finish the burger, the taste sharp with ketchup and defiance, and let the storm rage on. Tomorrow's Christmas, their calm holiday, and I've given them the gift they earned, a reckoning. The ice storm fades by Christmas morning, leaving the city brittle and quiet, but my phone's still a battlefield. 20 missed calls by noon, texts stacking up like snowdrifts. I'm sipping coffee, black and strong. When my buddy Sam calls from the diner, Elliot, your family's imploding. He says, voice thick with amusement. Heard from my sister, they're freaking out. Foreclosures looming, Derek's MIA with that cash. I grinned, the mug warm in my hands, took $2 and ran. Sounds about right. Sam laughs. Yeah, your mom's hitting up every cousin for loans. It's a circus. I lean against the counter, the apartment's heat wrapping around me like a shield. Outside, the streets glisten with melting ice, but their world's still frozen solid. Later, I scroll social media. Derek's post has backfired. A few relatives chime in. Wait, Elliot paid the mortgage? Where's Derek with the savings? His victim acts crumbling, and I don't lift a finger to stop it. Mom's next voicemail comes soft, hesitant. Elliot, we miss you. The house, it's bad. Can we talk? I delete it, stirring sugar into a second cup, the spoon clinking against ceramic. Miss me now. Do they? By New Year's, Sam swings by with burgers, plopping onto my futon with a grin. Update. Your dad's selling his old truck to dodge the bank. Cousin Lisa says it's 45 days late. Foreclosures set for January. I nod, biting into the burger grease dripping onto the plate. And Derek. Sam snorts, bolted to his girlfriends, left them high and dry. I choose slowly, picturing Dad haggling in the cold, Mom wringing her hands there scrambling, and I'm here steady, my rent paid, my heater humming. It's not joy, I feel just a quiet solid relief. The calls taper off mid-January, but a text from a cousin, Tara, lands one night. Elliot, they're screwed. 60 days late. Mom's crying to Aunt Jen. Dad's begging neighbors for cash. I'm at work. Headset off, staring at the screen between calls. 60 days. The bank's not bluffing now. Repossessions close. I lean back, the chair creaking, and mutter. They built that hole. No one's bailing them out this time. Not me, not anyone. Derek's theft and their blind loyalty dug it deeper, and I'm done shoveling. That night, I'm sprawled on the futon, TV droning some cop show. When Mom tries again, voicemail. Elliot, please. We're desperate. Her voice trembles, but I hit delete, flipping channels. Desperate's what they chose when they locked me out for Derek's sake. The apartment's warm, my coffee's fresh, and their chaos feels miles away. A faint echo I don't need to hear. I've carried them long enough. 2 years, 16 grand, my own life on hold. Now I'm living mine. The TV flickers, sirens wailing, and I sip my drink, letting their mess fade into static. They'll sink or swim, but I'm not the lifeguard anymore. March creeps in the snow, melting into muddy puddles outside my window, but their mess sticks like damp rot. I'm splitting logs from my fire pit axe, sinking into wood with a clean crack when my phone buzzes. Sam again. Elliot, they're done, he says, chuckling. Banks foreclosing 90 days late. Derek's couch surfing some dive. Mom's in a cheap motel. Dad's selling junk at flea markets. I stack the split pieces, wiping sweat from my brow. Figures, I say, voice even. They picked their hill. The air's crisp, spring edging in, and I feel lighter than I have in years. Later, I'm sipping tea on the futon when the doorbell rings. I peek out. Mom, coat threadbare, eyes hollow, snow melt dripping from her boots. I crack the door, leaning against the frame, warmth spilling past me. Elliot, she says, voice shaky. We're losing the house next week. Derek's gone, took off after New Year's. We were wrong. I swirl the tea, steam curling up and meet her gaze. Wrong? 2 years, 16 grand. Mom, 8,000 this year alone. You didn't see me till I stopped paying. She steps closer, hands twisting together. We didn't realize how much you did. Derek, we thought he'd come around. Can we fix this? I shake my head, slow and firm. You fixed it when you chose him over me. I'm warm now. You figure it out. Her face crumples, but I shut the door, the lock clicking soft and final. Her footsteps fade, swallowed by the slushy street, and I settle back, tea hot against my lips. No guilt, just quiet. Sam's last update comes over beers at the diner, fries cooling between us. They're toast. He grins. House gone. Mom begging Aunt Sue. Dad's down to a toolbox and a lawnmower. Derek's whining online. Nobody's buying it. I smirk, clinking my bottle against his. They built that wreck. I just stopped holding it up. He laughs, raising his drink to freedom. Man. The glass chimes and I nod, the weight of their chaos gone, replaced by something solid. Me standing tall. April dawn, sun cutting through the grime on my windows. I'm at the fire pit, flames licking the logs. There's smoke rising against a clear sky. They're out there, scattered, shivering in the fallout. But I'm here free. 2 years of my life, my cash, my sweat, and they traded it for Derek's delusions. Now I've got my own heat, my own peace. The fire crackles, and I let their story burn away. Ash in the wind. Thanks for joining me in this story. If it stirred something in you, anger, triumph, or anything in between, drop a comment below. Your support, even just a quick like, fuels me to keep spinning these tales day after day. Catch you in the next one.